in the first part.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys. Okay, so we're doing numbers 33 to 42, but I have a special guest because some of these problems, you may know him. He is...
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. McGahee.
Okay, so let's do number 33. Number 33. Which of the following algebraic representations explains the effect of rotating triangle DEF 180 degrees about the origin to create triangle DEF? So, as you remember, as you can recall, each coordinate quadrant is by 90 degrees. So, if I'm going 180, that means the first time is 90, the second time is 180. And it says I'm going about the origin, so I can go clockwise, 90, 180. That means I need to take this figure, literally, and turn it. So I'm standing up, I'm going down, now I'm going to go upside down. So I'm going to take this E, and when I turned my paper, I could go here, here. What's happening is I have 1, 2, but when I turned my paper to make it, that's where it would go. I would turn again, 1, 2, and I would actually be at -1, -2. That means my X and my Y stay the same, but my integer is opposite. So I have a negative for opposite. It's hard to do on the screen, but you need to turn your own paper in order to get that problem. Okay, next. 34. The table below shows the number of text messages 5 friends sent in one day. What is the mean absolute deviation of the number of text messages? Mean absolute deviation, in other words, mad. You are mad at me because I make you do the work twice. So the first thing I need to do is find my mean. So I'm going to add all the numbers, 38 plus 55 plus 26 plus 57 plus 49, and I'm going to divide it by how many there are, which is 5. So let's do that. Now I'm going to use a 2-function calculator because you're at home. You may not have a graph calculator. So I'm going to use my 2-function. So 38 plus 55 plus 26 plus 57 plus 49 is 225. Now I'm going to divide by 5. Divide by 5, and I get 45. So now that I know my mean is 45, I'm going to find the distance between these numbers. But distance can't be negative. Distance is always positive. So how I subtract these numbers is going to make it positive.
Ariana Salazar, please come to the front office. Ariana Salazar, please.
Sorry about that, guys. So 45 minus 38 will give me 7. And then 55 minus 45 is 10. 45 minus 26 would give me, don't want to make a mistake, 19. 57 minus 45 would be 12. 49 minus 45 is 4. This is where you're mad at me because now you have to find the average of those numbers. So 7 plus 10 plus 19 plus 12 plus 4, all divided by 5. So let's add that. 7, no, clear, 7 plus 10 plus 19 plus 12 plus 4, 52. And now I'm going to divide it by 5. Divide by 5. And I get 10.4. And that is my mean absolute deviation. Okay, next problem. Number 35. Slope and y-intercept.
Ooh. All right. Okay, hi everyone. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is notice that I have two sets of points. So I have my x1, my y1, I have my x2, and my y2. So knowing that, we can set up our slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so that would be, it would be 16 minus 8 over 11 minus a negative 5, which then becomes, can I erase this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that becomes 11 plus 5. So reducing that down, that gives us 8 over 6. That's not right. 16. So that equals 1/2 if we simplify that. So far we have our slope. Now we can find our y-intercept by plugging this into our equation, y equals mx plus b. So if we use our coordinates, and let's say we use x1 and y1, we can say that 8 is equal to 1/2 times negative 5 plus b. I'm running out of room here. Okay, so 5 times 1/2 is negative 5 over 2, and that's equal to 8. All right, follow my moves, guys. I'm sorry that I'm all over the place. Okay, but next we have to get b by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 5 over 2 because we need to make a zero pair. And we need to do this to both sides. So this becomes a zero pair. And 8 plus 5 over 2. So that's 16 over 2. Oops. Is equal to 21 over 2. Simplifying that out, that gives us 10.5. So our equation now, all put together, is y equals 1/2 x plus 10.5.
And let's see. Let's go to the next one. 36. Yay, compound interest. Compound interest, you have a deposit of $4,000. So April opened a college savings with a deposit of $4,000. When you deposit, what you start with is your principal. $4,000 You earn 2.8% interest. That is your rate, 2.8. However, it's percent, so you have to divide by 100 to get your decimal. So your decimal is 28 thousandths. And then you want to compound the interest in 2 years. So my time is 2. With that being said, I go to my star chart. I take my formula for compound interest. Compound interest is A equals P times 1 plus R to the power of T. Now, A, we didn't have A over here. What we need to keep in mind, A is always your total amount, what you do after the interest is applied. So I'm going to plug in my numbers. A equals, P is 4,000 times 1 plus interest rate 0.028 to the power of 2. Now, if you use Desmos at home as your graphing calculator on your phone or computer and that, then I'm going to use that to help us with the calculations. If you don't, that's okay. I can go back here, and if it will stay with me, I will first have to add my parentheses, PEMDAS. 1 plus 0.028 is 1.028, but I'm taking it to the squared power of 2. That means I'm multiplying by itself times 1.028. But then that is multiplied by 4,000. And I get $4,227 and round up 14 cents. But again, this is my total amount. Total means it's what I start with plus my interest is my total. The question doesn't want what is my total. It's asking for my interest. So if I'm looking for interest, instead of adding the principal, I would have to take my A and subtract my principal to get my interest. So I'm going to take my A, $4,227.14, and I need to subtract my principal, which is 4,000. And I get 14 cents, $227. And that's compound interest. Next, total surface area. Let Mr. McGahee take over.
Yay. All right, total surface area, okay? So you might be familiar with surface area, but if not, you can always refer to your star reference materials here. And it says that the surface area for a cylinder is S is equal to 2 pi times the radius times the height plus 2 pi r squared. Okay? So these are our bases here. Okay? We have a radius of 6, so r is equal to 6 centimeters. The height of our cylinder is equal to 15 centimeters. So we have all the information we need to find our total surface area. Mind you, this would be our lateral surface area, but we need the area of the two bases to complete that. Okay? So if we start with our first part, we're going to work on the circumference of our two bases. So that is 2 times pi times 6. And if we use the calculator, that is 2 times 3.14. And I'm using 3.14 because this calculator doesn't have pi, but if you're using a graphing calculator, it probably will. Okay? Times 6 equals 37.68. But we're not done yet because we need to multiply this by the height. So our height is 15 centimeters, so we're going to multiply that times 15. Okay? So that's 565.2 centimeters for our lateral, but we need our total. So we need to add that to this right here. And that is 2 times, well, let's do our radius squared first. 6 times 6 equals 36. So that is our r squared. So r squared equals 36. Okay, now
It's not the calculator.
this, I don't know what that is. What is this? Oh, I'm breaking it.
Close.
I broke it.
Technical difficulties.
I broke it.
Technical difficulties. There we go.
Okay, we're back. All right, now to input our numbers. So 36 times 3.14 point. Doesn't like my finger.
Yay!
There we
For
go.
once, the smart board's not just not liking me. It doesn't like anybody.
And then we multiply all of that times 2. Nope. There we go. Times 2. Okay, so we're going to add this number, 26.08. So 565.2 plus 226. Oh, that's not right. 2 plus, all right, there we go. 226.08.
And the kids I know are laughing because they always tease me because it
There we
hates
go.
me.
There we go.
But I think it just doesn't like anybody.
There we go. All right. So our total surface area is 791.28 centimeters squared. And remember, it's going to be squared because it's area. And that is C.
There we go. Now, let's go to the next one. Proportional relationships. Remember on our star chart when we went over it, proportional is direct variation. That means y equals kx or y equals mx plus 0. That means b is 0. There is no b. So when I'm doing this, I'm not having a y-intercept. So whatever I multiply by, I'm going to multiply all the time. So I can go through every single one of these and find my slope. Or I can just go ahead and take my k, which is y divided by x, and that would be what I'm multiplying by everything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do that. So 4, if I subtract, that's the same thing. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So my slope is 1. So is 0 times 1 2? No, non-proportional. Subtract. 5 minus 10 is negative 2. 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Negative 5 divided by negative 2 is 2.5. So 10 times 2.5. Is that 6? No. 8 minus 3 is 5. 24 minus 9 is 15. 15 plus, 15. So y divided by x is 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So 3 times 3, is that 9? Yes. 8 times 3, is that 24? Yes. 13 times 3, 39? Yes. 17 times 3, 51? Yes. So it's proportional. I'm not having to do any extra work. So I'm literally looking for that pattern. So if I'm looking at 1 times 4 is 4, is 3 times 4 6? No. So that was not proportional. Okay. We're getting towards the end. Number 39. A builder wants to reduce the dimensions of the lot modeled on this coordinate plane by 1/2. That means your scale factor is 1/2. What is going to be the effect of the area? So first of all, let's find our new points. Okay. So our points, we have 1, 2, and then we have, let's say this is A, our B, C, D. So A is 1, 2, B is 1, 8, C is 9, 8, and D is 9, 2. If I am doing the scale factor 1/2, I am multiplying every single x and every single y by 1/2. So that means my new points, 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is 1. That would be my A prime. 1 times 1/2, 1/2. 8 times 1/2, 4. That would be my B prime. Then I would take my 9. 9 times 1/2 is 4.5. 4.5. 8 times 1/2 is 4. That would be C prime. 9 times 1/2, again, 4.5. 2 times 1/2 is 1. That would be my D prime. So I can plot those points. But before I do that, I really just want to find out what is the area of the big square. So that way I don't mess myself up. Because we're talking about area. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now my original area is 6 times 8, which is 48. So let's plot the new points. Was it 1/2?
Yeah, 1/2, 1.
So 1/2, 1. 1/2, 4. 4.5, 4. And then 4.5, 1. My rectangle got this small. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4 as my base. 1, 2, 3 is my height. So my new area is 3 times 4, which is 12. So how did I go from 48 to 12? 48 to 12. I know if I take 12 and I multiply by 4, I get 48. So that means I'm going 4 times smaller. And so when I'm looking at my descriptions, I know I'm going to go smaller by 4 times The area of the new lot will be 4 times smaller than the area of the original lot. Okay. And next problem. Number 40. The difference between 3 times a number, I don't know the number, so I'm saying X, and 10 is equal to the sum of 9 times a number and 2. What is the number? So I'm going to put this together. I have an equal sign. The left side says difference between 3 times the number and 10. So difference means subtraction between these two numbers is equal to 9 times the number and 2, the sum. So on multi-step equations, box my variable, which is the smallest variable. The smallest one is 3. Let's do the inverse operation, which is subtraction. The 3's cancel out. I am left with negative 10. 9 minus 3 is 6x plus 2. I'm still looking for x. So I can't unwrap the present until the present's by itself. So I have to get rid of the 2. So I'm left with 6x equals negative 12. My last step, instead of multiplying, divide. And 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. 2 more to go. On number 41, scientific notation. We're almost done. Almost there. Hang in with me, guys. A city's public library has a budget of $10 million. The table below shows how the library spends the money. Based on the table, which scientific notation expression represents the amount of money the library spends on technology? So we're only looking at technology. Okay? So with technology, I know that it's spending 1/5 of the 10 million. So first of all, I have to find out how much money that is. 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Means I have to multiply it by 1/5 or divide by 5. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Divide by 5. And I get $2 million. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how much you're spending on technology. But you have to remember, scientific notation, I don't want this large number. I want my decimal to be after the first digit. So after I put it there, I have to find out how many times am I going to move that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 2.0 times 10 to the 6. Now the last question I have to ask is the 6 positive or negative? It's positive if it's a large number, and large number is to the right, which is positive. So it's positive. And that answer is D. And last problem. A cone. We just got done with this unit. Y'all can do this. Cool Breeze is an ice cream company. It pays 1 cent per cubic inch for its popular waffle cone. Based on the dimensions of the cone, how much will they pay for the shipment of 5,000 cones? Cubic is volume. So you have to find the volume, which means you need this handy dandy star chart. Volume of a cone says 1/3 area times height. I have to rewrite this formula. I cannot use that formula. I have to rewrite it because this is talking about area of the base. The base is a circle. So my base is one circle with a diameter of 4. Remember, the diameter goes across, the radius is half. So half of 4 is 2. So when I go back to this formula, this area, I have to replace that with the area formula from my star chart of a circle. So area of a circle is pi radius squared. Everything else in the formula stays the same. That's my new volume formula. With that being said, I can just plug in my numbers. So volume is 1/3 pi. Radius is 2 squared. And the height of this cone is 6. I could type this in my calculator and it'll give me my volume. Now, you at home don't have a graphing calculator unless you're using Desmos. So if I don't have a graphing calculator, all I have is a 2-function calculator. So I'm going to do this a tad different than I would on my graphing calculator that we did in class. So to do that, I have to take my squared first, order of operations, exponents. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. 24, when you multiply by a fraction, you're dividing. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. So I have 8 pi. And pi, I'm going to use this 3.14 since I don't have pi on this calculator. 25.12. That is the volume of one cone. Whew. I want how many cones? 5,000. That means I have to take this volume and multiply by 5,000. Times 5, 1, 2, 3. This is the total volume for all 5,000 cones. The question doesn't ask for the total volume. It asks how much money are they going to get. So that means I have to divide that by the cent to find out how much. Right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Divide by 0.01. Nope, not divide.
You're right. You just have to multiply.
I just multiply because it's a penny for each cubic. Duh. It's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Times 0.01. And I get $1,256. And I'm done. And that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed. Last thing. Your test is on Wednesday. If y'all need any more help on any of these videos, let us know on Tuesday. Last day before your academic target. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Let me end.